Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Absolutely Pickled. Lee, we've got another fabulous guest this week. Would you like to do the honors and introduce the man sitting next to you?
Absolutely. We have the one, the only Jason Bock, who's not only a professional pickleball player, but a professional Airbnb booker.
Oh,
Yeah. Like he's the best. No. As far as like he does the housing for us. So I room with him all the time on trips. So he's like the guy who finds the house. So
well, on
we
that
have to keep
note,
him.
there is a brand new facility, sleeps up to 6, that you may totally book with me directly, honestly.
Perfect.
Master bedroom, downstairs 2 beds, and then a couch that if they are intimate, it would sleep 2. If they're not, 1 and 1 on the floor.
And what if they're fat?
That again, 1 on the floor.
Booking directly, that'll give me a little discount there.
Oh yeah. No. There's a friends and family, and then
Love it.
And then Lee's locals. Do you know what I mean?
That doesn't sound ominous.
No, not at all. All right, so Jason, I've never met you, so it's really nice to meet you. And I hear you just did very well in the tournament you just played and got to the semi-finals of the main event, right? How'd that go? But basically, you both guys are in Miami right now, correct?
Yep, in the convention center on the floor.
Okay. And so it's indoor.
Yep.
Yes.
And how was it? And just give me a bit of background as to how the whole event went for you, Jason.
Yeah, no, thanks. It's really nice meeting you too. So so I played mixed pro doubles with Heather Nobler, and we had a couple really good matches. The event space is great. It rained a couple days, so if this was outside, it would have been a nightmare.
No, like up to your knees flooding in the streets.
So we were there in Miami for the Miami Open tennis this time last year, because my husband and I's anniversary is around March 14th. And so we got tickets to that, and it rained two or three times, and people were like hanging out. My husband and I were like, no, we're out of here, but when it pours there.
Oh yeah.
Not like English rain.
No, it's not. This is not proper rain. It's rude rain.
Rude rain. Yeah.
But then he took the downfall of rain, and he unleashed a rain of terror in men's doubles.
Ooh, this episode is sponsored by Rainstorm. No. No, so mixed doubles, I love it. It was fun. And then men's pro doubles was yesterday. And I was telling Lee, the draws just keep getting deeper and better, and everybody's coming into the sport. It's great.
There's no routine first round.
There isn't. I mean, there's pre-qualifiers now, unheard of. We didn't have that last year. So there's pre-qualifiers, qualifiers, and then you finally get down to, the round of 32, and there are no gimmies. You gotta be on your A game. So we played the round of 32. I think we were seeded 12th. Spencer Lanier and I. He's from Portland, Oregon, like I am.
Okay.
We train a lot together. So played a couple of bangers, some college tennis players, and we were able to neutralize that. Then we're on to the round of 16, and we play the number 5 seed, who is a couple guys I know from Ohio. I went to Ohio State University.
Oh, cool.
But CJ Klinger, who's in Columbus, Ohio, a lefty phenom. He was the MVP of the Challenger League, last year. And then Andre Mick, big right-hander that hits the heck out of the ball. And Spencer and I just kind of stuck to our patterns, our game plan. I'm always poking her, her brain for things. And
thank you for finishing that sentence.
Yeah, you like that? Pick your brains for those things. Poking here. And so we were able to escape that. And then we were in the quarterfinals, and now we have to play the number 4 seed, another lefty righty duo. So
lefties, I tell you, they're bugging.
Yeah.
They should be shot.
They should be. There's so many of them in pickleball. It's annoying.
Yes. But I will say the fact that we just played a lefty-righty duo, we kind of stuck to the same, same patterns and plans, and we played even better in that match unfortunate that would, wasn't, we didn't get a lot of video evidence of it, but Lee showed up and she was proud over there, and it was a pretty good quick win. And then before we knew it, Spencer and I are like, oh wow, where are we at now? Oh, we're in the semis of a APP major. Like this is pretty good. We're doing what we knew we could do, but and then we played two guys, I never heard of, J.W. Johnson and Dylan Frazier.
Oh, yeah.
Who are those guys?
Yeah.
Like top 2 team in the world. So
yeah. Did you give them at least a run for their money in the semi?
Yeah, first game was kind of, feeling it out. And obviously they're really good at their craft.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, first game was whatever. Second game made it a little bit more interesting. Had a couple moments of, all right, there's a good point. We showed, kind of showed them what our skills were. And I played Dylan before in singles, actually, in Florida, I think like a year or two ago. But yeah, they beat us. And what made this whole thing even more special, though, was on the other side of the draw were 2 of our training buddies, Eric Lang and Max Manthow, who are also, Eric Lang trains with Spencer and I in Portland, Oregon. Lee knows them all really well. And then Max is up in Seattle. He goes by Purple Jesus. It's because he has long hair and he went to University of Washington. So wears all purple. And as we're going through the run, they're, upset, or I wouldn't call it upset, but they beat some really good teams. And before we know it, we're like, oh my gosh, we joked about, we'll meet you in the finals. And we both were 1 win away from meeting our friends in the finals. But then we got to play them in the bronze match. And it was fun, but everybody knows everybody's game. So it's like, who was gonna win it this time? And they got us, but it was a very kind of special, magical run for both teams. So yeah.
Well, congratulations, mate. As you were talking, Lee, I don't know what you pressed, but a bubble with a thumbs up came right over your face, which we're leaving in, by the way.
No, I love it. And then let's see if it does it now.
No, different one.
No. Okay, never mind. Tried. Oh well.
All right, so Lee's not very good at showing off, but we do need to talk about what you just did also, mate. So how did you do this weekend?
How did I do this weekend? Well, I had a good weekend. Coached Team USA to the win against Team Europe. It came down to today, right? We were down 4-2 going into final day.
You're a traitor to the Europeans.
Both coaches, both Team USA coaches are not from the US, and we were called traitors multiple times.
Yes.
Team Europe could have hired us. We could have been hired by Team Europe. They chose not to. So whatever. And then so that was a fun win there. And then 1 gold in senior doubles women's and senior mixed pro. So senior pro swept it, double gold, and had a beer at the end.
Excellent. All right, back to Jason. So she doesn't do very well. That's actually quite good for her because she's terrible at showing off. I have to kind of boost her up.
If she didn't say it, I was going to, because I was lucky to catch some of her matches, and her and I actually got to play a mixed. Her last one we played in Chicago. We actually won a few rounds last year, and it was honestly, I've known her for a while now, but it was so much fun on the court. So yeah, but she did great.
Easy. Well, I'm sure you do too. In fact, I've seen clips of you, so I know you two do. And I'm like, and my students, because I teach a little bit, my students like, you make it look so easy. I said, just wait until you see my mate Lee. She makes me look like a donkey. Like, I mean, it's just so easy. So anyway, so Jason, give me a little bit of background as to did you come from a tennis background? Did you play tennis at Ohio State?
No, so I always say my story isn't quite as sexy as others. So I played a lot of sports. I actually grew up all over. I was from the Midwest, lived in Fort Myers, Florida for 10 years, actually. So whenever I come back down to Florida, it's like, a little nostalgia. Yeah. So I was big into soccer, baseball, basketball, tennis. I played Junior Davis Cup coming up in junior. So I was a very competitive junior tennis player. I actually had offers to play in college, but like a lot of tennis players, I got burnt out, playing so much singles. So Ohio State actually gave me some academic money, which made my parents happy. That's always good. So I went to school there. My dad went to Purdue University, so I kind of like the Big Ten atmosphere. Got a business degree, still played sports, haven't stopped playing sports. And then this craziness of pickleball came around, you know, and a few years back when the pandemic hit, that's really when I think I met Lee and a lot of the Portland people like Wes Gabrielson, and Eric Lang had just got into it like a year prior. And there was this whole camaraderie group. I'm like, oh, I love paddle sports. I was still in my, in my 30s then. I'm like, I think this could be fun. And then I got addicted. And then, the last couple of years, I have a full-time job. I have a beautiful, lovely wife and daughter who's 3. And they're obviously great because they let me still compete doing this. But business and family and pickleball, and
just make it all in one go. Well, you've got the energy because you're a bit younger than us, so I'm sure.
But he's also part of the crew that I was explaining this to some of the younger ones today. Because that's another Portland duo, young kids came through qualies and got into the main draw. We're really proud of them. And I was like, listen, enjoy the moment. Like, you've got a long way to go. And I said, understand that, we came into the sport where it was like pro was sort of getting established. It was open and pro. And we've been able to grow with the sport. Like, these guys are coming into it where it's here. I'm like, so you're on a steeper learning curve than the rest of us were. We got to evolve with the sport. And that they're on a steeper learning curve. So, it's a testament to like what he can do too on the court, this guy. Because, it's like, I love it when part-timers can hang with full-timers.
I know, exactly. Like, really, I have a job and a family and I can still kick your ass.
I do this part-time. In my spare time. What do you do?
Well, and I think too, the mentality changes. Like when you get, I tell a lot of the younger folks, when you get older and your responsibilities keep going up and you don't have as much time, you kind of learn to be super efficient and focus in. So I love playing rec, but knowing where I only have so much time, that's why once a week I'm probably drilling with Eric Lang and we're hitting as many balls as we can, because we got a
small period. It's done.
We have to get touches, and then another day of the week I'll do it with somebody else, and then maybe we'll get some serious games in. But I mean, I like playing rec as well, and you get a lot of practice when you come to these tournaments, right? You're mixing it up with different partners, you're trying to get as much play in. But that's what I have to do. So
oh, that's awesome. So, okay, well, we're gonna move quickly along here. So we have this section called Dear AP, which is where our listeners and viewers write in with questions. Sometimes they're relevant, sometimes they're not. Last week we had a real corker from somebody that wanted to stay anonymous from her turf, but we don't have that one this week. But anyway,
it was Cindy. She wrote in. Cindy wrote in going, I don't know how to play with my partner.
I can't drop my name, but yeah. So without further ado, it's time for Dear AP. Okay, are you ready? So basically, Jason, you and Lee get to answer this together, one at a time, whatever. But the first one, funny enough, we were talking about lefties. So Tracy from Hermosa Beach, who I might know, just down the road from me because I'm in Southern California. She writes or asks, one of my teammates is left-handed. Can you please explain stacking to me when serving and receiving, and do you recommend it?
Not if you don't know what stacking is, no. Sorry.
Well, so don't recommend if you don't know, but can you give our listeners and rec players that sort of have seen it happen, or a lefty has said to them, let's stack, and they've gone, what? So can you give them an idea of what the idea is? And bearing in mind, you're a right-hander, right, Jace?
Yep.
Right-hander.
Yeah, we're in the right position right now.
Okay.
In the middle.
Okay, so starters, we've covered this earlier, but the lefty usually starts on the right.
Yes.
And then can you help explain how you two would approach a match with stacking in mind?
So essentially you really want to have your strengths in the middle, right? So you want to have both forehands in the middle. That typically is your strongest with your biggest reach. And so what happens is, let's say I'm serving and it's 0-0, whatever, and we win the point, then we're switched, right? So I'm on the left, he's on the right. But would we do that and put our backhands in the middle? probably not. So then he stands to my left. So when I serve, I'm going to slide back over to the right.
Yeah.
And then on the serve, it's a switch after the return because you're trying to get to your positions of strength. That's essentially what stacking.
So I get it on the so you then win the point. You move over to the if we're facing
right, and then we lose, and now I'm on the left returning serve, right? Because now it's 0, it goes to the other side, so it's 0 and 1.
Yeah.
So I'm on the left, Jason's on the right. He has to return the serve, and then we want to unstack. Is it called unstacking, or is it whatever it's called?
Stacking, yeah. So she'll move over to the right to get her left forehand back in the middle. I go to the other side, so my right forehand is in the middle, and now we're kind of in what a lot of people would say is the best position for a left right.
Got it. So help me, because this is an education for me, mate, as well. Because I have friends that are lefties that are like, "I'll just tell me where to stand, or tell me where." So if you, Jason, are on the right now, so we're not in the optimal position.
Right.
And you are returning serve. Do you return and come in front of Lee and she comes behind you? Is that how it works?
So she would be up at the kitchen line and she would
staggered.
Yep. So she would just slide over to the right and I'm returning and moving in. And then Yep. But I won't have to even worry about getting behind her because she'll slide over and I can beeline it right up to the kitchen line.
Yeah, sorry.
The only issue becomes is then you've got to be very intentional with your return of serve.
Yep.
Because you can get caught in a mid switch.
Yes.
Right. If you return to the wrong person, return incorrectly, like shorter or high, a dead return, right, which is just going to sit there for them. So that becomes a little bit more problematic.
And
if somebody is about their return.
Is there an optimal return? If Jason's on the right, do you return down the middle? Do you return straight? Do you turn cross court? Where do you normally go?
I would say it depends on our opponents, right? If someone favors their forehand versus backhand, if someone isn't moving well up, if they're off the line back, I know that's not a direct answer, but
all of our stuff is so situational. I don't know a sport that's more situational than pickleball, to be honest.
It is, and think about it, right? Like, so let's say Jason's returning and I'm gonna slide, right? They're gonna try to find the most space on the court. And in mixed doubles, typically they're gonna try to find the girl, yes, but like let's say pretend like it's gender, right? They're pretty much gonna go to the person coming in where they've got the most room. So you want to return in the space. So like I want him as big as possible in the middle, cutting off angles, making my side of the court really small. So they have a hard time finding me. So that becomes way more strategic, and that's like not a 3-0 level.
Okay. And I would add one thing too is sometimes somebody might want to be on the left more, but you play straight up because you want to eliminate bangers, people that are maybe ex-tennis players, that their drive is their strongest thing. So we're not going to try to do a lot of switching where I might be blinded for a split second when the ball is getting fired because Lee's moving over. So we'll just stay. And it also gives a little bit different look. And we've actually done this when we play, where playing mixed, instead of her crossing over to get her forehand in the middle, she'll stay straight up with the girl. So we didn't switch. And now she's probably dinking maybe straight ahead to force the girl to come cross court to me. So yeah, there's so many different strategies. So
would you
sorry, real quick. So what I would recommend though, if you're learning how to stack, stack on the serve. And don't stack on the return.
Agreed.
Okay.
Like get the serve stack down, and like even in I play mixed. I play women's doubles and seniors with Angela, right? We'll stack on serve, but we won't stack on return.
Interesting. And do you? I mean, obviously, it comes up when we're playing with lefties, but do you ever stack when you're straight up two righties?
Yeah, you want the one with the biggest forehand in the middle.
Okay.
Right. So like if Jason's forehand, let's say I'm a right-handed person, let's say I'm a right-handed guy, and Jason's obviously a right-handed guy, and his forehand is better, and he's just bigger and more imposing, then I want him on the left.
Okay.
I'll just be the setter-upper and let's make him look good.
Okay.
I like it when she makes me look good.
Yeah, don't we all?
but I like to make her look good too.
Yeah.
She doesn't make me look good very often. She just rips on me. Like her punching bag.
Jason's the guy that I'll do something and he'd be like, "Did you honestly think that was a good idea?" And I'm, no.
Probably not. Probably not. All right, Tracy in Hermosa Beach. That was a comprehensive answer to that one, and I learned something too. Okay.
Yeah, that should have been a subscription. That was a long one.
Yeah, I know. All right, question number 2 is from Beth in Huntington Beach, and she writes, I am a 4-5 tennis player transitioning to pickleball. So, and I know, I think she was talking about us too, but this is good because Jason's here too, and he's from tennis too. Because I know you two come from tennis. What did you find hardest transitioning from tennis to pickleball? Any advice?
It's realizing that when you get to a certain level, you can't just smack the ball like a tennis player. That's the biggest adjustment I see for everybody is you get a little false feedback at first because you'll play people and they're like, oh my gosh, this person,
your forehand's so good.
Your forehand's great. You're smacking it, but you're probably beating like 3 O's, 3 5s. Yeah. And then you'll find someone that can actually dink and manipulate the point more. And then you're trying to speed up when the ball is bouncing this far off the ground. You're like, wait a second, I thought I could just hit through everybody.
Yeah.
And you quickly realize there's a lot more to the sport. And that's why you see, even at our event right now, the singles players typically were tennis players that can get away with driving because there's less of a, kitchen game.
And you got more good.
Yeah. But then when it gets to doubles, that's why you see it takes sometimes the singles players a lot longer to figure it out, or they may never get to that level to figure it out. So that was the hardest thing for me, was learning not to just drive everything.
Yeah.
So.
You know what's funny is that I've known this woman for a very long time. I knew her when she was 16, and
we were in the same tennis team.
Horse and buggy.
Yeah, back in the horse and buggy days.
How was Prohibition? Right.
But we had one episode where we were talking about tennis balls. You won't remember this. They came in boxes. Yep. They didn't come in cans. They came in boxes when we were kids.
Slazenger Permaplus.
Slazenger. And then you got 6 of them or 4. Now none of this. When it went to a can of 3 balls, I'm like, what the fuck? I need another ball. Like,
right? 3 balls. I'm warming. Like, and then who gets the 2 balls to warm up, and who gets the other one in doubles? Right? It's just wrong.
It's bullshit.
Completely legit.
But I knew when I found out she was into pickleball because I've seen her play. A, the lefty, but B, she always had, and we played on grass, obviously. So in the summer when it wasn't raining, and beautiful touch game. And I like to think I'm a slicer and dicer rather than a baseline banger.
Yeah.
And then watching pickleball, I was like, of course she's good at pickleball, right? Just like doing these, whatever. So I have sort of seen tennis players come in that were more of the baseline bangers that have to learn that touch game that became real easy for Lee and relatively easy for me. But the other thing I tell people is, in tennis, and maybe this is just me, right? I'm like, let's go, and I'm amped up and I'm trying to take time away and I'm hitting the ball on the rise. And suddenly in pickleball, you got to chill down, like calm down and relax and loosen the grip. And you've got.
I think there was a book about that was written, wasn't it?
Was there?
Fuck down, right? Yes, by your mate, Dr.
And our sports psychologist guru, Dr. Simon Marshall. If you haven't read it,
I should.
It's a good one.
Watch episode 2 and episode 4, and it'll blow your mind. Simon's on, right? And I went to college with Simon in England, and then he came out here. Long story. You'll hear about it on the podcast. But basically, at one point, he's talking to us, and Lee and I both going, like our chins are on the floor because he's so smart. But yeah, he does talk about calm the fuck down and rise to the occasion. Like you're getting 2 in your own head. This is how you're going to do it. And get that down, you're going to succeed. So it's really good. Anyway.
Well, and the good thing that Lee does, because I've watched so many of her matches, is she's really good at resetting. And a lot of people that come into the sport, even a questionable ball that maybe is attackable, the first one they get, they're doing it. But what they don't realize is someone like Lee or others, they're setting you up as well because they're like, wait, why didn't she attack that one? Oh, why didn't she attack that? And then when the attack comes, they're thrown off. And it's just that extra second of them hesitating that is what will allow her backhand flick then to go through the middle. Whereas if she would have done it on the first one, they're all amped up, they would have probably been on it more.
Right. So, no, I totally know what you're talking about because I didn't get to watch your final, mate, but I watched your semi-final in the mixed and totally was watching her reset, and I'm like, I want to know how to do that. I can't do it, you know.
But yeah, no, it is. But like, I think though for tennis players, a lot of them it's embrace the differences.
Yes.
Because and own them, because a lot of the times when we come from tennis, right, super technical, very, very technical, and you miss a dink and you're like, oh my god, I don't miss a dink, it's so easy. And it's like, no, embrace the fact that you got to respect this dink and move your feet and like even an inch and get yourself in the right position, right spacing from body, don't, you know. And it's like, and I think a lot of tennis players, we just come in with the mindset of like, well, tennis is way more difficult, I should be able to do this in pickleball, and we live in the I shoulds and we don't do it. And it's like, no, embrace the fact that it's a different sport and use your knowledge of your tennis game to help you.
Yes. And we often underestimate, you know, Betty with a knee brace, who's older than us, but been playing for 3 years, and we're just appalled when she's kicking our ass because we're looking at that going, I should be able to beat that. But in fact, she's got it down to the point where she's not overextending and we're putting us where we don't want to be and we're rushing.
She's probably hitting these unsexy shots too, and they frustrate people. And then sometimes the tennis in us is like, ooh, I bet I can smoke one with a little spin down the line. It's going to be so good. You miss 9 out of 10, you hit that one, you're like,
and then she does this. She does this.
What do they call that? The scorpion?
Yeah, no, but it's more of here. It's more like because the way she's holding the paddle, she does this, and you're looking at it visually offensive, and you funky, and you
just disrespected me,
right? And then you're like, how is that ball coming over? And we focus so much in like, how the hell is she getting the ball over, that you don't realize that she's slowly kicking your ass.
Yes.
And that's it. I like always fear anybody that walks in the court with knee braces, is over the age of 65, smells of Bengay, and has a paddle from the 50s. You're gonna lose.
Fantastic. All right, well, moving along, it's now time for the fun. So we have this fun questionnaire. It's 8 questions. It's very silly. Any answer goes. First thing that pops into your head. It can be pickleball related or not. Doesn't really matter. So are you ready?
I might show my true colors here. I hope this is okay.
Do it. All right. So the first question, mate. I know we can hear. It's all right.
No, we're good.
Come join, but there's a little background music, but it just means you're having fun in Miami. Okay. First question, mate. Here we go. What is your favorite word?
My favorite word? I mean, this is going to be Ayla, because it's my daughter's name.
Oh, see.
And cue music in like, let's shed a tear.
And then number 2 would be Alyssa, my wife. But I love her the same.
Different.
But differently.
No. It always goes in that order. My husband's now at the bottom of the pile. I've got 2 boys, like, you know.
That's a
favorite son, by the way. And no one knows it. Okay. Okay. On the flip side, what's your least favorite word, mate?
Probably when they say the match is over or something. What would a word for that be after playing pickleball? Yeah.
Time's up.
Shake hands or something.
Yeah. Exactly. So you just want to play forever. Don't tell me.
Yeah, tournament's over. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Back to my 5-hour flight home.
Okay. What is a noise that you love to hear?
You can't say your daughter laughing. You've already referenced.
No, I know. She's the default. Honestly, just because we're here, the crowd, like crowds cheering.
Yes.
I think it brings out a lot of. I mean, some people probably don't like it or they get nervous. It draws my attention and I get focused more. So yeah, hearing people, you know, screaming and yelling is fun.
For you.
For me.
Not your opponent.
Yeah, not your opposition.
Hopefully
has the atmosphere been good there?
Yeah, it has been.
Oh, that's great. And like probably indoors as well, it just amplifies it. So it's probably even.
Yeah, that's why they just shut that door over there, because
Yeah,
they realized it's gonna get loud.
All right, real quick. What, on the flip side, is a noise you just can't stand? What's a noise you hate?
Oh, probably vuvuzelas.
What now?
Vuvuzelas from, remember the vuvuzelas in the Soccer World Cup?
And
Oh,
then they
God,
Football
yes.
World Cup, yeah.
and then they did them in MLP for a little bit, and then I think they banned them.
Yeah.
But
I can't
constant
even
headache.
stand the drums, mate. I mean, I'm just like, could we just, because I'm English, we're English, like, we're used to really
Like-
clever cheers. Well, soccer stadium, you used to like, they come up with fun songs and the lyrics are hilarious. But
Yes.
it's a singing roar. But there's bloody things, yes, I can't even spell the name or say them because they're probably deep in my, psyche of being
Yeah. You know what else I would say though that came to mind is whatever alarm I have set in my iPhone, I want to smash that thing sometimes because you're on the road and you're like, oh my gosh, 5 a.m. I don't want to hear that noise again. So
no. All right, here's a good one for you. So if you weren't well, actually you have another profession. What do you do when you're not playing pickleball?
So I've worked for a long time in the medical device arena.
Oh, yeah.
So I managed the Pacific Northwest for a company that treats brain tumors actually. And then I have invested in some other businesses outside of that world. So
He also owns a gun shop.
no, I do not. It's an antique sword shop. Yeah.
Okay, well, if you weren't doing that or playing pickleball, what is a profession that you would like to attempt? But it has to be something you've never tried.
Something I've never tried.
Mm-hmm.
Professional curling.
Seriously?
No, not at all.
Stop doing something housework at home.
Yeah. I know.
I was going to say, your wife wants you to put that into effect when you're sweeping the floor at home, mate.
Yeah. No, honestly, I'd probably do something more in like the pickleball world is fun, but commentating if I wasn't playing or just talking more. Like looking at it from the outside is fun,
Yes. My youngest is at ASU right now studying broadcast journalism.
No way.
A little bit of play-by-play, and he's got the voice and he's chatty. So we were finally going, this is perfect for you because I can't get you to shut up. So this is great. You can just commentate away because you talk all the time.
Yeah.
So that's good. You'd be great too.
We're chatty Cathy's. So if you said your son's going to Arizona State?
Yeah.
All right, that's where my wife went to school. So
yeah.
I love it down there.
Yeah, I mean, he's never coming home. He lives in a palace in downtown Phoenix. It's like not starving student at all. I mean, his house is like as nice as this, and he's got a girlfriend, and he didn't come home for spring break, and I don't think he's coming home for the summer. I'm like, fine, I'll see you in 2 years. What? And that's my favorite. So he's falling in my estimation. And the other one's coming up, so he's quite happy. Okay. What profession, on the flip side, would you absolutely not want to ever try?
Honestly, stand-up comedy, because I've seen, to me, just being thrown off. That's why I respect it so much, even the people that try it. But I mean, your brain. I mean, like right now, we're going on day whatever of this, and my brain is tired. And those folks have to do it week in, week out.
And with a bad crowd, and they can.
The crowd, never know the unpredictability. So I really, it's almost like people that can handle giving speeches all the time, and somebody's trying to be that instigator person. For a while, I think I'd probably lose my shit and want to,
No. Kevin Hart did a funny thing on the Graham Norton show where he was talking about early days of stand-up, and he got hit by a like a hot wing or something, and so he's got hot wing in his eye and he's trying to carry on. And we talked about this the other day, didn't we? Because I think maybe you gave me the questionnaire and I said the same thing. Like, we think we're kind of funny, but it's like karaoke. I can sing, but I'd never say I'm a singer, but I can rock it in karaoke. Similarly, we can do this, but if you put me on a stage and said be funny,
on demand funny, no.
On demand funny, Not happening. Not happening.
I wouldn't have it all the
Could
time.
you imagine in pickleball though, if they had like you miss an easy third and like someone's throwing chicken wings at you? Like, like, I'm trying to
They should do it. I've always said they
Like a
should
no rules, yeah,
do some fun event. Yeah. It's like
Yes.
American. It's like
Yeah.
American Gladiator, or somebody's about to shoot you with a tennis ball or something if you screw up. So
There's an idea there. Okay. All right. So stand-up comic. Love the answer. Okay. What? And it's surprising because usually this gets covered early on, but not for you. So this is going to be interesting. What is your favorite curse word?
I mean, probably use way too much, but fuck.
Yes. Yes. But oftentimes.
Oh, never mind. I'm not supposed to say that. Yeah.
Oh no.
Darn. Yeah, yeah.
No, I was like,
yeah,
it's PG-13.
like darn. Yeah, no, it's.
Gosh darn it.
I love fuck. I mean, are we doing the swear jar for a charity again? Like we did with Zane? Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay, final key question. If heaven exists, what would you like God to say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You can fly here.
Oh, no hesitation.
Fly.
See that? No hesitation. He knew exactly.
Yeah, right?
That was.
I feel like he's thought of that before.
Well, when you thought about heaven for a second, my thought is if there's a heaven, you should be able to like do things that you've never been able to do before. Like who wouldn't want to fly? So
you're looking at squirrel suit like
no squirrel
suit.
suit.
But no, without it. But like
No, like
but you'd be
It's like Superman. It's like Superman.
yeah. Give me a
Oh
speedo.
my God.
Just one speedo.
Just one. Yeah, that's all I need. It'll be good.
As a little kid, I used to have dreams that I could fly, and someone said that meant something, but I can't remember what it was.
It meant you really wanted to. So
Yeah, I guess.
But it meant don't try it because the landing sucks. Anybody can fly, they just can't nail the landing.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't stick the landing, and now I'm paralyzed.
Yeah. Yes. That was fun.
Yeah, well, that's your questionnaire. Well done. So, really nice to meet you, mate. Lee, anything else we want to ask while we're here? While we've got him captive? Oh, go on.
Where can people follow you, stalk you, send you money?
Yeah.
My
like
address.
whatever.
Yeah, your address was last with the social security number.
Yeah. Last 4 digits of that are.
Do you have a Nigerian uncle?
Not that I know of. I know. So I mean, I'm on Jason Bock PB on Instagram, Jason Bock Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn for the professional side of work.
Right.
But yeah, as you can tell, I'm pretty open and I like talking and getting to know people. Genuinely like talking and getting to know people.
Oh, no. It's been a pleasure having you on, mate. You are lovely to talk to, and I hope we can meet in person at some point, and I'll be cheering you on and following you now on Instagram, as will all our listeners. And
people don't know this, but he does offer this service. So like if you're playing any tournaments that he happens to be at, feel free to slide into his DMs and ask for recommendations of places to
I think that comes with years of having to travel for work. It's very quick and easy, and sometimes not that I don't trust other people getting accommodations, but some of the younger folks, Lee and I are showing them how to use some of these apps to book things and not get
more congestion to leave them in.
Yeah, and throw away.
Well, that's exactly it. Like I mean, I'm worried I've built this place and people are just going to come and trash it, but
it's a real fear.
Yeah. Fear is real. And we did have our absolute pickle coffee, and that went in a heartbeat. They loved it. So
I gotta get some more. Yeah,
I need more coffee, mate. I need more coffee.
All right,
mate. Okay, well, go enjoy the rest of the evening. What happens now? Is there partying, or what happens now?
Home.
Everybody's just going home.
We celebrated. It was fun. We went out to dinner. The group of us that finished in the bronze match, our friends. So we got dinner last night. Tons of people watching in Miami Beach, and then I flew home to Portland, Oregon tonight with some other folks. So yeah, get back to the real world of ending Q3 in business and changing my mindset. So
yes, exactly. Good Lord, I know it's like. You got to switch to dad mode and you got to switch to work mode. You've had the fun of pickleball mode. Now you got to get back to the reality of it. Ugh.
Yeah.
But having said that, you've got a lovely little 3-year-old and a gorgeous wife, I'm sure, that you're coming home to. So you've got no complaints.
They'll be happy. Yeah.
You've got no complaints. All right.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, it's nice to meet you.
All right. Well, really nice to meet you too. So Lee, as usual, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from her.
All right. See you later. See you next time.